Hi, it's Mo. It is April, and I just filmed, very recently, my first installment in my new series, which is a try-a-chapter series. So I will leave the original video listed down below. But the concept of this series is very simple. I have too many books on my TBR. I have over 1,000 books on my TBR, and I'm always getting more books. And something that I'm trying to do this year is pare down my books. So I wanted to isolate some books that I wasn't sure if I was still interested in off of my TBR. In the first video, I picked 57 books to try a chapter of, and then we will try a chapter throughout these videos of several books. Maybe we'll read some in the videos, maybe we won't, but we will try to get rid of as many as we can, either by reading them or by unhauling them. Some of them are just going to stay on my TBR. It's just how it works. So I have done another round of trying a chapter. The first book that I tried a chapter of was First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I just don't know about this one. I just can't decide. I think I'm going to put a hold on Libby. I did have a hold and then I let it go a couple of months ago now. This seems to be about a woman in a relationship where she is lying to her partner and she's actually maybe a secret agent or sleeper or something. She's something nefarious or something positive, and she's in a nefarious relationship. It's hard to tell from the first chapter. It didn't grip me, but there was enough that I was like, oh, I kind of do want to find out why she's lying to her partner. But on the other hand, it's like a straight cis domestic thriller, and I just don't really like those. So should I keep this? I don't know. Maybe I'll put it on hold again. There's like a really long hold list. Actually, let me see if it's on Hoopla. Maybe it's on Hoopla and I can get it a little sooner. This is a maybe, but I might unhaul it. Next, I read House of Hollow by Kristen Sutherland. I tried the first couple of pages of this, and actually I really liked it and I was a little bit hooked. I almost continued reading this one. The first chapter starts with a prologue, and in the prologue, the first line is, I was 10 years old the first time I realized I was strange. It's about a woman creeping into our main character who seems to be a young woman's room. This woman cuts off a lock of our main character's hair. Our main character's sister tackles the woman and does something strange to the woman. And so you're like, ooh, what is going on here? Is this mystical? Is this witchy? Is this horror? Like, we're not sure. This is a YA book, which is one of the reasons that it was on my try chapter in the first place, but it seemed pretty cool. I do want to read it. So we're not unhauling that one. Next, I read a chapter of, or part of a chapter of, The Daughter of Block Island by Krista Carmen. I picked this one up randomly at a little free library and it just interested me. I love books that take place like on islands. I love books that take place in small island towns or shore towns. I read part of the prologue of this one too. The prologue is called The Spider and the Fly, and the prologue starts with a woman and her girlfriend, and our main character Talia gets a letter from her sister, and seemingly she doesn't know she had a sister, so that's intriguing. And then I read a couple of lines from chapter 1, and it goes back in time and we meet the sister and we learn from the sister from her perspective. And it seems to be tied up with their mom, and it seems to be tied up with Block Island. And of course, again, we don't know, is something witchy going on? Is something paranormal going on? Is this just a mystery? We gotta keep reading to find out, so I'm not gonna unhaul this one. Next, I tried a chapter of Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies by Catherine Mack. I've actually tried to read this one before and I couldn't get into it. It's very tongue-in-cheek, it's very direct-to-reader, it has a lot of really silly footnotes, but I read like the first full chapter of this and I was like, I don't love it, but I could see myself finishing it. And you may be able to tell because I'm just holding the dust jacket, I am currently reading this one. This follows our main character Eleanor, who is an author, and she is on an author trip with a bunch of fans to Italy. And right off the bat, we find out that Eleanor is connected to this guy called Connor because the book that she wrote that made her famous 10 years ago, and she's been writing in the series ever since, has to do with Connor. And because she didn't change his name in the book, he gets part of her proceeds. So she's connected to him even though she doesn't want to be. We also learn about Eleanor's sister Harper and how she's her assistant, and then as the book goes on we learn more. I don't think the writing in this is very good. I think it's, I don't know, like everything that I love about Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, the tongue-in-cheek nature, the footnotes, the direct-to-reader, the list aspect. All of those things are in here, but not done as well. But it's really fast and easy to read. It's really light. It's really fluffy. I can almost guarantee that I'm not going to continue on with this series. I didn't like the audio. I tried it. I don't see myself reading anymore, but I'm in deep enough that I do want to know what happens. I'm almost halfway through now, so you'll see my full review of this in a weekly update. I've been doing those weekly update videos, or in my probably April wrap-up. I tried a chapter of The Guide by Peter Heller. This one, I was like, it's not that interesting, until there was kind of a maybe set in the future, maybe climate change, maybe illness, maybe pandemic aspect to it. So it very much, in the first chapter, we see a man coming to a hotel. He, I would assume, is a guide. This also starts with a prologue. And then he asks about wearing a mask and if people need to wear masks and if he needs to protect himself. And that kind of had me hooked. So I would love to get this one on audio. It is available on audio in places, but I can't find it on Hoopla or Libby. Next, I read a chapter or part of a chapter of The Paleontologist by Luc Dumas. This one seems quite dense. There's a lot of like words on every page, and it's small font, and it's about a paleontologist. There was something about this that was intriguing to me. This is another one that I wish I could get on audio, because it seems like a book that maybe you would just fly through on audio, but there was something about it that I want to give like a longer chance to. And then finally, I did read a chapter of Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I didn't really read a chapter. I just read a couple of pages, which is really the way I usually do try chapters. And this is another one that I've tried to read before. I've read the first couple of chapters before. I've taken out on Libby before. Although the first couple of pages are intriguing, there's something I don't like about it, but there's something intriguing about it. So we're following our main character. I actually don't know her name, June, and she's talking about her friend Athena, but she's not really her friend. June is an author. Athena is another author, a much more well-known, much more well-renowned, much more famous author, much more productive author. June really isn't. And she's talking about how Athena doesn't have any friends because she's popular, because she's a celebrity author, because she's had a lot of books published, but how June's her only friend. But June's also talking behind her back and talking bad things about her. That's the first part of this book. But we know from the synopsis, and we know from hearing about this book for years now, that Athena dies and June seals her manuscript, right? That I don't think is a spoiler, because I think it's right in the beginning, and like I said, everybody talks about it. Although I always want the horrible white people to be villains in books, as they often are in real life, I don't know if I want to read from that character, which is why I'm on the fence about this. But I did get the audiobook from Libby, so I am going to give it a longer shot and see where we're at. Those are several more books that I've tried a chapter of. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned here. Let me know if there are certain ones that I should definitely continue with, or if I should give up on them, especially with like these two, because those were the ones I was the most on the fence of, that I'm not going to try a longer portion of. But I will come back and I will talk maybe about this or this, and I will talk about any other books that I try a chapter of. I don't know how long this series is going to be or how many episodes I'm going to have, but so far out of 57 books we've only gotten rid of 4. Actually, we got rid of 5 because I did also decide to unhaul Blonde Roots by Bernardine Evaristo, because I also recently read Loverman by Bernardine Evaristo and I decided I didn't want to read her middle grade. It's not looking good as far as unhauling. So right now we went down from 57 to 55, 54, and then one more, 53. So now we only have 52 books that we need to try a chapter of. And I tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I tried 7 here. So either we'll read some of these or we'll get rid of them. Maybe I'll try some more chapters in this video and I'll let you know how it goes. Kind of full in there. There it looks like. So I finished the 2 books that I was reading. I finished Every time I go on vacation, someone dies, and I finish Yellowface. If you want to know my thoughts on those books, you can check my weekly updates. I've been trying to put the picture of the book on each weekly update, so if you need to find it, it's just on the thumbnail. And then I did try a chapter of a few more books. So I did read a little bit of A Study in Charlotte. I'm kind of intrigued by this one, but ultimately I just never reached for it. And there are other Sherlock Holmes books that I would rather read, so I'm going to unhaul this one. It's a young adult, you know. And then I saw, oh, what is that channel's name? Her cat's name is Claudia. I'll try to list it down below. I do really like her stuff. She's Canadian, and she read The Grace Year as part of her Read It or Unhaul It, and she really liked it. It made me think that I don't want to read this one. I did read the first chapter of this one, or a little bit of this one, and I thought it was interesting, and I was like hedging on going to keep it, but once I saw her review and the way she talked about it, I decided that this one probably isn't going to be for me. Again, it's YA, and it's dystopian, which is not always my favorite if it's done in a YA way, but it's puritanical, which is never my favorite. It's a really pretty book though. I am going to unhaul this one as well. And then I finally made a decision about First Lie Wins. I tried this one a couple of times and I am intrigued by it. And then I was like, well, I'm just gonna read spoilers for it, but I couldn't bring myself to read spoilers for it in case I ever want to read it. I thought about getting it on audio, but the hold was super long. So I decided that I'm gonna give this to my friend Michael. He loves thrillers, and then he can tell me if it's worth it to read, and if it is, I can take it back from him. One that wasn't even on my list, but I also saw someone review. I saw Books and Lala review The Fisherman by John Langdon. This is such a beautiful book. I really like the shape, and I love the beautiful cover design and painting on there. It's like a buttery cover, which I don't like, but I really just, it's like nice and floppy, but it's kind of heavy. This is a cosmic horror, and I've been on the fence on this one for a while. I did actually try reading this one on audio, and I couldn't get it started, so I thought maybe I'd try it physically, but after watching Books and Lala's review of it, I don't think this one is for me as well. So I'm going to unhaul this one too. So in our first try a chapter video, we started with 57 books that we were going to try a chapter of and then decide if we were going to keep or unhaul. I tried 4 chapters and I ended up unhauling all of them. That brings us down to 53 books. And then I also unhauled Blonde Roots by Bernadine Evaristo because I ended up reading Mr. Loverman and decided that her YA or her young or her middle grade was probably not going to be for me. In this one, we tried, I can't even remember how many chapters we tried, but I did unhaul some already, I think. I don't know why I didn't just look this up. We're gonna unhaul 4 more books. 3 of them were on the original list, so that brings us down to 50. 53, 52, 51. Yeah, so now we have 50 books out of those original books. Then I'm also gonna unhaul another extra. And I read 2 books, which brings us down to 48 books. That sounds right to me. In 2 episodes, we've reduced the original TBR list by 9 books to bring us to 48. We're working with 48 now, but we also unhauled at least 2 other books off of the TBR. So I think that's really good progress. I've been enjoying doing this series. When I try some more chapters, I will definitely come back to you. But for now, let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned here. Let me know what you thought of them. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!